Grandmaster Dee, let's get him while we got him.
Yo, Stomper, funky, come to take all the money. Bear witness this, yo, I got to get funky. I know the scoop, I'm a hip-hop junkie. Got to tell the truth, boy, your style is crummy. Your time's up, boy, your motion stop. About 3 in the morning, I'ma throw you off the dock. Got spared before, because my gun's sold a lot. Rhymes is the ammo, I bust snuff shots. I flip, skip, bust your whole shit. The unknown brother, boy, the style is swift. I burn something up like smoking a split. I clap them, bust them, stab them, rush them. Artillery thick, yo, I got some for them. I eat MCs cause I know they're fulfilling. The rhymes overflow, I'ma keep spilling. Funky like a sweat.
Me or tell our listeners who you are and how you got into the rap game.
Yes, I'm Grandmaster Dee from the legendary rap group Whodini.
Woo woo! You ain't even put a handle on that now, Grandmaster Dee. You got to be explosive with me now. Come on now.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the group, or what were you doing before you got into the group?
Back in '77, that's when I started getting into hip hop. But at that time, they was calling it rap. And my first freshman year of high school, moving from Brooklyn to a place called Roosevelt Island. And freshman year in high school, we had a room that was called the Spark Room. And we would eat lunch first, and we'll save at least 20 minutes to go in that Spark Room. And when we went in the Spark Room, they would play backgammon, they would play spades, and they would have a boombox in there. And then they were playing rap music, all the hottest rap tapes from Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, from Fantastic Romantic 5, Grandmaster Flash, the Furious 5, you know, they had the Grand Wizard Theodore, Master Don and the Deaf Committee, you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And that was my beginning stages of learning about hip hop.
Rap, like they called it rap. What was the difference between rap and hip hop back then?
They just called it rap. It was just straight up rap. That's what you were doing, just rapping. That's what they called it. Rapping over like a break beat. And, you know, they didn't have the name hip hop. They were just rap, straight rap.
Okay. Now, and as far as Whodini, how did that group get started? Or how did you make your
Jalil put the group together, and you got to look at it to the point where I met him was through Mr. Magic. It was around, Magic was the first one playing rap on radio. He was on a station called WHBR. And I used to listen every Thursday night, 12 o'clock in the morning. And I would be like maybe the second or third one, sometime the first one to call in, because he would always give you a shout out on the radio when you called in. Mm-hmm. And Magic would give you that shout out. And next thing you know, I was calling in, and Jalil started answering the phones. He was answering the phones for Mr. Magic. And at that time, I would call in, they shout me out, and that's how I met Jalil. Matter of fact, I met him through Magic because they was hosting a show. Magic was the host for Sugar Hill Records. And they had all their artists gonna perform at the Armory. And that's when I went up there to help them promote it, and I went and got some flyers and posters, and that's where I met Jalil.
When y'all linked up, like what was the first do you remember your first concert?
Oh man, the first concert I did with the group was in Akron, Ohio.
Wow.
I think we were with Africa Bambaataa and Zulu Nation, Africa Bambaataa Soul Sonic Force, and GQ, and I think it was the Four Tops, if I'm not mistaken.
The Four Tops?
GQ. Yeah, GQ was on that show.
What?
Yeah.
That was a bomb show. So,
yeah.
And in what ways do you think you all shaped hip hop?
Back in our era, a lot of people were making hip hop, but the beats were mainly break beats, you know, just a drum, and they're rapping over it. Maybe, you know, like Sugar Hill came with the Rapper's Delight, and that was off a famous beat from the group Chic. You know, good times.
Definitely good times. And you're right, you guys did have an R&B feel. What was your favorite song to perform?
Famous, what, say that again?
Your favorite song to perform?
My favorite, really all of them.
All masterpieces.
That's all of them.
And then you have one that was on was it Juice soundtrack, Friends? It was on a lot of movie scores.
Yeah.
Everyone
The Freaks
loved.
Come Out at Night. The Freaks Come Out at Night.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was in Jewel of the Now, and it was in Friday.
When it was in Jewel of the Now, what was your first response when you found out that it would be a score there?
The record company had told us about it, and it felt good. It felt good to hear your song in a movie soundtrack, you know?
Right.
Felt real good.
So back then, when you made movies opposed to, or not movies, but music for movies opposed to now, what was the money like back then opposed to now?
Well, the money you look at, you know, we get residuals, but you know, Jalil wrote the majority of the songs, so just about all the songs, and you know, that's how that went down. And I did Funky Beat, I had producing rights on that, writing rights and all that, and yeah, we get a good little residual, but you know, Jalil gets the main big piece. He get the big cut because he wrote it. Yeah.
Money, where the money reside. What lessons did you learn? I mean, I'm sure you're still learning.
Yeah, you know, you learn something new every day. My lesson I learned was not to just really blow money and throw money away. You know, like back then when you're young, you're not really paying attention to it. You're just running around and spending like it's no tomorrow, you know?
Right. That is right. And then I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about the passing of your friend and the legend. You know, my question is, what do you want to honor him?
I want to honor his style, his pizzazz he brought to the stage, honor his voice. He had the greatest voice in hip hop, and his personality was outstanding. You know, when he hit the stage, you knew Whodini was on, you know, and not taking nothing away from Jalil. You know, we all added, the three of us made a team and made an incredible group. Right. You know, we all had our style. And, you know, like they said, born and raised in the streets of Brooklyn, there's three of us and we all good looking. And we had that class and the pizzazz that we always brought to the stage. But you know, it was just something about X that when he got on the stage and touched that mic, the next group that come after us better be ready. Because, you know, he always sound just like the record every time he hit that stage.
Wow. So, and y'all definitely had style. I was like looking at your covers and I was like, well, before it even became fashionable to do the things that you guys were doing, y'all were already on board. So was fashion like, y'all were trending?
I really think, you know, Jalil added the touching phase on that, and we really felt that we wanted to be different. We wanted to be different, and we noticed a lot of rappers was wearing like cut off leathers or jean suits or this and that, but we wanted to be sharp with the gaiters and shark skin suits or you know. Yeah, so we were the type of group that said, wow, they dress well every time they come on stage, you know, and we wanted to keep that adult feel. We didn't want to keep it like we were young and we just out here just to come off the street and come on stage. That's what you look like. You come off the street and you're right on stage. No, we look like we were prepared.
Right. Like y'all were a different type of rapper. Like most rappers have a different image. Y'all were like, nah, we the classy rappers.
Yeah. You know, we wanted to give the people something to really relate to, and like I always said back in the days, we were before our time, but I always looked at it where the moms and pops will say, yeah, I don't really care for rap too much, but I like that group Whodini.
Loved it. Still do listen to Whodini. Like I send the cut friends to my kids like, you need to listen to this. So what music are you working on now?
Well, I got a new single called Time for a New Rap Style with a partner of mine that grew up with me since kindergarten. He used to rap with my brother, and the name of their group was Velour and Double O. And my brother passed away 3 years ago, and may he rest in peace, Double O, Aaron Tall Carter. We got together and said we're going to try to put something out, and he showed me a track that it was interested in hearing, and it was nice. And I said, let's just do it. So we put it out. It's all major screens. And right now, I'm just going to work on a Grandmaster Dee album. You know, I'm going to work on that too. And me and him going to do a couple of more tracks. And inviting Jalil to get on some things if he's ready to work and put some things together, you know, because I know X wouldn't want us to stop, you know.
Right. Wow. So, and with that, you said you had an album. Is it already completed?
It's a single that's out now. It's called Time for a New Rap Style.
Oh, the Grandmaster Dee album, or is it just a tour?
No, right now it's just a single out that we put out.
Oh, okay.
It's called Time for a New Rap Style. And we just did a little video. Ralph McDaniels had his hands in the video piece of it. You know, he helped shape it for us. And I've just been ready to launch another album real soon. I'm working on it now. And it's going to be a Grandmaster Dee album, and I'm going to work with Velour on some other tracks too.
Okay. So how do you keep the passion for music after all these years?
It was just something in my heart and in my soul growing up to it. And, you know, coming up as a youngster when my mother was listening to blues and all types of music, but you know, we had a radio station in New York that was called WWRL. It was an AM station. That's where you hear all the number ones and top R&B songs back in that era. And I would listen to them, and you know, I would hear like James Brown and Earth, Wind and Fire and Delphonics, Blue Magic, Stylistics, and Rick James. You know, all that music growing up, especially Al Green and Barry White, you know, so that helped raise me. So I have an ear for music, and I always love music. And it's like now when I hear radio stations go and play 10 songs every hour of the same records, you know, the same songs. Every hour you hear the same records. So I'm saying if they're going to call themselves today's R&B and old school, if you're going to be old school, there's millions of records that you can play. Every time you go to the store, you get in the car and you come back out and you get back in, you hear the same 10 songs. So it's time to bring the realness back.
I agree. And then I listened to your single, and it's definitely a nice single. It has a little old and a little new. Was that the intent of that single?
Yeah, well, Velour, his real name is Purcell, but he came with the idea, and then once I heard it, I said, that's a hit. That's a hit. And then I just jumped on board with it. But yeah, we wanted it to be like a little old, but it really feel like hip hop.
It's definitely hip hop. I was like, it gives me the feels. Like not many music gives me the feels about old school hip hop where I want to listen to it and keep it on repeat. And that album is definitely a good one. You're welcome. So
Thank you very much.
You said something so intriguing, and I hear it often enough about how it's the same music. So what music would you like to have playing, or if you could like give advice, what would that look like?
I would love if we're going to keep it old school and classic. I really want to hear some War. Remember the group War? War, some Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, go deep into the catalog. Joe Tex, Otis Redding.
Yes.
So, you know, things like that. And I mean, some good Barry White. Barry White, everything he made was incredible. Even Love Unlimited.
Right.
He produced too. Those songs was incredible. So you got to go back. I listened to everything from Chicago to Billy Joe to the Carpenters, you know, to Natalie Cole, you know, Aretha Franklin. It's so many. It's so many that you can play, and they were saying something back then, and it meant a lot. You know, it was touching. Some made you sad, some made you smile, some made you happy. So
Right.
it's got to come back to that era. You know, I'm not taking nothing away from the people what they make today, but that's what they do. You know, they got their audience and we got ours. But I really look at this game. If you can last close to 40 years and still eat, you've done something right.
That's facts, big facts. So, and if you had a new school artist that you could perform with, who would that be?
Oh, I would love to do something with Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
I would love to do something with J. Cole. Who else I would look to work with? Nas. You know, Nas.
Mm-hmm.
There's some different ones out there I would love to work with. Her.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Yeah, you know, I think back to all those people just like Lauryn Hill, you know, when they came, they really brought it, you know. Mary J. It's so many, you know, but I'm really getting back into the passion of it and loving it, you know, again, like I've always done, but I never left it. I just took my time in coming out with a record, but I'm ready to go deeper now. And yeah, I got a great engineer named Maxwell, and he's got my ear and I got his ear, and we're ready to work. And Carl Solo, who used to work with Jermaine Dupri, we're gonna add up and team up together and put something together. And I miss Larry Smith that produced our records back then. I really miss him. May he rest in peace.
Do you think the passing of Ecstasy empowered you more to get back and do what you needed to do in the studio?
I was on the verge of it and was coming with it anyway. I wasn't going to stop, but I was just taking my time. So a lot of things that I didn't bring to the table that I have now that I want to do, and I want to do it. But with the passing of X, it shows you, in a way, it brings you to that stage where you say, yo, you can't waste time. You got to keep coming. But my goal is to bring it back to where we can educate the young generation that's out here now and give them something to really relate to. And let's make it fun again. Right. Let's uplift one another. That's what it's about.
That's right. That's the Escape Palace music. So do you want to do anything else?
What do you mean by that?
Like clothing line, like any other endeavors?
If it comes. But I really want to focus on the music right now. And if it comes, it comes. You know, I love fashion. I love great tailor-made stuff, you know, clothes. And we'll see what happens.
Right now it's just about the music. I love it.
Yes.
So do you think it's easier to market your music now opposed to back then?
It seems like it's not, because you got the internet, and that's really working now. And back in our era, we didn't have internet. Right. So you look at now, it's almost like a fight to even get it out there on the internet. It depends on how many followers you got now. That's what everybody lives for now, how many followers you got. So it's a new generation out here now.
Well, that's all right. You're a bop. You say Whodini is a rap. So where can our viewers, and this is my last question, where can I, well, it's not even a viewer, but our listeners follow you and download your music and stay up to the minute with your tours?
Yes, you can reach me at Grandmaster Dee on IG, Drew GMD Carter on Facebook, and Grandmaster Dee on Facebook too, on Twitter.
Okay, I am definitely going to follow you, and I lied. I have one last question, and I'm serious this time. Okay. How did the pandemic affect you with the music and with performances?
Oh man, it affected everybody. That's an entertainer. Even the average 9 to 5 guy. It affected them too, you know. There's no shows you can do. And if you do it online, then you figure how many people gonna come online. Right. So it's getting ready to open back up. You know, God never sleeps, and then everything's got to be in place right now. When you come out now, it's going to be like a fight to get to the stage. You know, when it opens up, and it's going to be for the best. You know.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
So that's it. Now you can get back to normalcy.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time. I am very honored to even speak with you because I'm a huge fan. Like, yes, I was born in '77, but I was around when y'all came out now. Okay. I understood hip hop with my little FM AM radio, because back then we had CDs, we had 8-track.
That's right. That's right.
And records. So I appreciate you. Continue to do what you're doing. I'm definitely going to blast that music and get it out there for the people to listen to.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the time. And you keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed one.